Hello once again, guys. Alex Strauss here. I am so glad that you're here because today I am doing a little experiment, and I'm also talking about one of my favorite things to talk about, which is the connection between our health, our physical health and well-being, and the success of our entrepreneurial ventures and our businesses. So the experiment that I'm doing today is, some of you guys know that I started a podcast. It's called Present Company. And you can listen to it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and lots of other places. And I found that a lot of what I was talking about, what I have been talking about in my podcast, are exactly the same things that I would be telling you guys on video if I were having a better hair day. So I just decided that today is not too bad in the hair department. And so I'm going to go ahead and make a video because you haven't seen me in a while. But I'm also recording a podcast at the same time. So I'm going to start it in just a second here, but just wanted you to know. So I don't know if you can see, my microphone is just right below the camera there. So we'll see how this goes. So hey there, it's Alex Strauss here. I'm an author, speaker, and a coach. And I talk here in this place about the strategic connection between, or rather about strategically using the connection between nature and the natural world and the wisdom that we get from connecting with the natural world in our businesses, and to help to support our businesses to make them more lucrative, more successful, more impactful by using our connection to the natural world. And when I talk about these things, I want you to know that I realize that while this information might be new to you, while you probably aren't hearing a lot of people, I don't hear a lot of people talk about this on the internet. It may be kind of different to hear somebody talk about it, but I really believe that if you tune into yourself, you know that these things that I say are true. Especially if you're a woman. I'm speaking to the feminine leaders out there in particular. We have a natural, deep connection to the natural world, to nature. You were born with it. Whether or not you consider yourself an outdoorsy gal or not, there is a deep part of you that is connected to the natural world. And especially in the Western world, we've really kind of gotten away from that. And the truth is, it's true for guys too. Absolutely. By virtue of being a human being, you have this deep connection to nature, and there are so many things that we can gain from tapping into that connection. But the fact is that women feel this. I think it's closer to the surface for women. Let's say it that way. This intuitive part of us that is connected to the natural world. It's easier and maybe more natural for women to tap into. But it's absolutely something that guys can access as well. But here in this place, I talk a lot to female business owners and feminine leaders. And so today, we're talking about the connection between the natural world and our health and how that relates to our businesses. Now, if you own a business, if you have any kind of an entrepreneurial venture, whether you make things, whether you teach things, whether you're a writer, like whatever it is that you do for your business, if it's your business, then it is you. That in a very intimate way, you and your business are virtually inseparable. And so what that means is that your physical health and well-being are also deeply connected to your business. So today, we're going to talk about why it is so important for your business, for your bottom line, for your money-making ability, for you to preserve and protect and support and enhance your health. And I'm going to talk about my absolute all-time favorite, hands down, always go-to method for supporting my health, both physical and mental and emotional, spiritual, as an entrepreneur. But we'll get to that in a second. First of all, I just want to explore for a second here. Why is it that so many of us work to the point of burnout. I have heard from so many women who, and many of them end up walking away from their businesses, end up quitting a really great idea, quitting an entrepreneurial venture, so that the people that they had intended to help don't get helped by them, because their physical health, they absolutely just, they couldn't hack it. They burned out and they pushed themselves to the point where they just had no more energy. And in many cases, they actually did get physically sick, like not just get tired, but get sick. And it happens all the time. And I really, really, really am opposed to that. I'm here to really try to help you prevent that. This does not have to be you. But the answer to having an effective, lucrative, impactful business that supports our lives and our families and helps people is not working ourselves to the bone. And there are lots of different ways to automate and to outsource and to strategically work your business so that you don't get to that point. And if you want more of those things, you can work with me as a coach, and I can help you with that kind of thing. But the bottom line is, our health is essential to our businesses, but so many of us ignore it. And I think that, there are a couple of reasons for that. For a lot of us, it's lack of time, especially if you're managing a family and you're also trying to manage this business. Maybe you're managing more than one business like I am. And it can feel like there is just not enough time to devote to whatever we think we need to be doing to support our health, whether that's going to the gym or it's taking a run or it's being in a yoga class or it's doing P90X. Is that what it's called? That thing where the videos that you can do in your living room and it's like really intense. Whatever your health support method of choice is, it does take time. It takes some time out of our lives. And a lot of us just look at our limited hours and we think about, it's either spend time with my kids or my husband, or, I go and do this yoga class, and we end up pick the family or we pick the business. So lack of time is one thing. Lack of money, I have certainly been in this place. A few years ago, a lot of you guys know that, and this sort of led to the creation of my book and everything. It's like I moved and I had no money, and I hadn't really started my business yet, and we had a lot of expenses around the move, and I used to belong to a gym, and then I moved and I absolutely could not afford a gym. And that was my primary way of keeping fit, was to get on the elliptical and put my headphones in, and I'd watch TV, and that was my me time as well as my fitness time, and I absolutely could not afford to do that. So lack of money is another thing. And another big one I think that gets us women is lack of energy. We are chronically under what do you call it? I'm drawing a blank, but we don't get enough sleep. We don't get enough sleep chronically as a nation, men and women. Hardly any of us get an adequate amount of sleep. And so, for a lot of us, we just have limited energy. And so we look at the idea of doing some kind of a workout or starting some kind of a routine of some sort, and it seems like it would sap what little energy we have left. So we have to put the energy that we have into our businesses, into our relationships, into our families, and our home obligations. And maybe you have volunteer things too. Whatever is in your life, you have to have energy for it. So I think energy is another thing that stops us sometimes from doing the things we need to do to support our health, to support our businesses. Another one is guilt. Maybe you resonate with this, but there have definitely been times in my business journey where taking time out to go do something for my health seemed like really self-indulgent and like something I did not have the luxury to afford to do, especially, let's face it, if your business is not making a whole heck of a lot of money, you may feel like you may feel guilty. Like, in addition to not having the money, you just feel guilty about just taking the time away and stepping away. Like, you really have this idea, a lot of us do, that if I'm not sitting at my desk, I'm not doing what I need to do for my business. If I'm not making my thing that I make and sell, or if I'm not doing my marketing, or if I'm not sitting there writing another thing, then I'm not doing what I need to do to support my business. I'm here to tell you that that is not true. Because when we are not doing the things that we need to do to support our health, it's not just our businesses that suffer. Your business is going to suffer. And maybe it already has. Maybe you've already lost a business in the past. Maybe you stepped away from a business, even though you have a heart for entrepreneurship, because you just absolutely could not hack it. And that's a lot of people. And I think it's really sad, because there are definitely ways around this. And so today I just want to talk to you briefly about that number one tool that I absolutely recommend, especially for women in business, to support your health as you support your business, in order to support your business. And that is walking. That's it. It's not very sexy. Walking in the outdoors. It is incredibly simple, very cheap, requires no equipment, is accessible to almost everybody, can be done at a moment's notice, requires no more time than what you can carve out. So literally, if you have 5 minutes, you can take a 5-minute walk. You cannot say that about a trip to the gym or a yoga class or even a P90X session. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Whatever that is. There's almost nothing else you can do. Of course you can run, but running is a different animal, and I think most runners will say that you're less inclined to go out, in your work clothes. Like, I'm wearing jeans and a t-shirt today. I'm not going to run in this if I were a runner, which I'm not. But I'm also not going to run unless I have just the right shoes on. And I walk in flip-flops. I actually took a walk today. It's a glorified flip-flop. But anyway, that's what and they're not paying me, by the way. That's just what I like. But I don't think that even running is as simple and straightforward as walking. And specifically what I like to refer to as mindful walking. Some of you guys know that I wrote a book a few years ago called The Mindful Walker. You can find it on Amazon. And it's specifically about this process of walking quietly in nature. And being mindful, it's a buzzword right now, but being mindful simply means to be present focused, to just be aware of what's going on right now, your breath, your feet, the trees, what you can hear, what you can see. That's mindful walking. And it's been scientifically proven over and over to be very, very good for our physical health, but also for our mental health. Improves concentration, improves energy, and improves our physical health. You can reduce your blood pressure this way. There are tons of studies. In fact, I can link to them in some of this, and I have scads of stuff on the website and things in my book. But reducing your blood pressure, reducing your risk for diabetes, reducing your risk for osteoporosis, reducing your risk for heart disease, reducing weight. Walking is a very effective weight loss method if you do it right. There's some tweaks that you need to do if you're specifically walking for weight loss. It is one of the easiest ways I know to jumpstart your health routine as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. Sorry, my dogs are always around. You guys know, if you've been following me for a while, I always have dogs here. Anyway, so that's my message today. If you like this idea of strategically integrating natural wisdom into how you run your business, I would love to have you just here in my community. So if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're listening to my podcast, please do go to Alex Strauss Online. I've included the link in the show notes, and grab my Instant Raise audio training. That's the training where I talk to you about bringing some natural elements into your workspace to begin to experience some of this connection. The other thing I have for you, which I'll link to as well, is if you're curious about walking, maybe you've been a walker in the past, or you kind of got away from it, or you like the idea but you're not really sure, what you would think about or what you would do. I have a lot of people who say, oh, I would, but my mind just goes constantly, and then I come back just more tired and fried than when I went out. I have a little audio program, a 10-minute audio program that you can also grab for free, and it'll take you through a little mindful walk. See what you think. I absolutely feel like it has allowed my business to thrive because I thrive physically, but also mentally and spiritually from taking a daily walk or two. And they don't even have to be very long to reap the benefits. All right, that's it from me today. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be back next week with more for you. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.